Hello, everyone. Welcome to this 3-in-1 breakout session. My name is Kaustubh Khanke. I'm a principal product manager with the AWS Artificial Intelligence team. Today, I'm also joined by my colleague, Wenny Gu, who is the principal product manager in the Amazon Connect team. Together, both of us are going to walk you through how you can improve your agent performance with Contact Lens for Amazon Connect. So we have a packed agenda for you today. I'm just going to walk you through the agenda. First, I'll give you a very quick overview of Amazon Connect and Contact Lens. Next, I will talk about our existing and new conversational analytics capabilities. I will then hand off to my colleague, Wenny, who will walk you through the new evaluation capabilities and also show you a very quick demo. Following that, Wenny will share some customer stories. And finally, we will leave about 15 minutes at the end for a Q&A session. So with that, let's get started. So let's talk with a quick refresher on Amazon Connect, right? Like if you're aware of Amazon Connect is an easy-to-use cloud contact center that can be set up in just a few clicks. It scales to any contact center workload, and you only pay for what you use. It is so simple to use that anyone from non-technical business leaders to experienced contact center administrators can immediately start innovating on behalf of your customers. They can deliver conversational interactions that are personal and natural using our proven speech recognition and natural language understanding technology. And by the way, this is the same technology that powers Amazon Alexa. Amazon Connect is built from the ground up to deliver real-world ML-powered results without the need for any machine learning expertise. The combination of these cloud benefits means that you can instantly and easily optimize the customer experience to keep up with customer expectations. You can hit business targets, you can reduce your costs, and you can onboard tens of thousands of agents in response to normal business cycles or unplanned events. Now, Amazon Connect is one of the fastest growing services in AWS history. Tens of thousands of customers of all sizes use Amazon Connect to support more than 10 million customer contacts a day. Large companies such as National Australian Bank, Adidas, and Delta Airlines love that they're able to experiment and move with the agility of a startup. Companies with smaller customer service teams, such as ChartSpan, Answer Connect, and Slice Pizza, love that they can get an enterprise-grade contact center at startup prices. Our strategy for growing and expanding our customer base has been to work closely with our customers to innovate and launch strategic improvements that address real-world challenges. Now, the success of customers is what drives our commitment to innovation. Our customers are delivering customer experiences that are delighters. They're solving customer problems with automation and self-service. This frees up agents to focus on more complex issues where a human touch matters the most. They're offering communications through a customer's channel of preference, eliminating any frustration and saving time. They're implementing new machine learning-powered tools that make their agents more productive and efficient starting on day one. Now, instead of constantly playing catch-up, customers are accelerating their ability to understand customer needs, turning data into action, and rapidly making changes to meet customer expectations with Amazon Connect. With Amazon Connect, managers and supervisors have more control to optimize agent productivity through native capabilities like workforce forecasting, capacity planning, and scheduling. Amazon Connect also has advanced features that can be configured in just a few clicks, such as a business rules engine, outbound campaigns, predictive dialing, and answering machine detection. All of this allows you to proactively communicate with customers across voice, SMS, and email. Now, the events of the last 2 years have created a number of challenges for contact centers, as many of you are probably aware. We know this is not just because of what customers have been telling us. A lot of our customers have been talking to us about these problems. But we also know this because Amazon operates a very large, globally dispersed contact center for providing customer service to millions of Amazon.com customers. And we do this each and every day. I want to draw your attention to 3 key statistics from recent studies. The first, 40% of companies have already applied advanced analytics to reduce average handle time by up to 40% and increase self-service containment rates by 5 to 20%. What does this show you? This just shows you how important of a role analytics is playing in contact centers today. Next key statistic, 67% of customer churn has been found to be preventable if firms resolve issues the first time that they occur. This highlights how important it is to know what issues your customers are facing and what is impacting your contact center. Finally, the call center industry is facing an average turnover of 30 to 45%. We can see how important it has become to retain agents by providing them the right support and guidance and serving customers better. While companies are becoming increasingly aware of these facts, they continue to face a bunch of different challenges. Companies often find that there are no right tools to help them with day-to-day work. Some of the common challenges include lack of visibility into customer conversations, difficulty in evaluating agent or team performance at scale, limited insights into contact center operations, inability to find issues in real time, and higher attrition rates due to low agent satisfaction. Now, 3 years ago, we announced Contact Lens for Amazon Connect during reInvent 2019. And we did it to solve some of these very same challenges and the very same problems that I just talked about. Contact Lens is a set of machine learning capabilities that enables businesses to analyze customer conversations. These capabilities are available as part of an out-of-the-box integrated experience in Amazon Connect. You can access them in just a few clicks without the need for any technical expertise. Contact Lens offers conversational analytics and evaluation capabilities, not just for the voice channel, but also for the chat channel. Some of the top Contact Lens capabilities include real-time supervisor alerts, automated contact categorization, sensitive data redaction, sentiment analysis, automated contact summarization, evaluation forms, and contact scoring. Now, we're going to talk about all of these capabilities in a bit more detail shortly. Now, supervisors, agents, quality managers, and businesses all can benefit from Contact Lens in various ways. And that, in essence, translates to a great experience for your customers. Now, let's go through each of these stakeholders one by one. Supervisors are able to find critical issues in real time and take action to prevent them from escalating further, right? Now, let's take a quality manager. A quality manager is easily able to identify coaching opportunities for improving agent performance. Agents themselves can benefit from timely and specific assistance to improve their productivity. And finally, businesses can benefit from the product feedback that they get from these customer calls, and they can use that feedback to improve their products and services. Now, let's talk about some of these conversational analytics in detail before we jump to some of the evaluation capabilities. Contact Lens has conversational analytics that are designed for multiple use cases, right? We have the use case of surfacing trends in your contact center. You have the ability to improve agent productivity. You have the ability to automate follow-up actions. You can enhance compliance of your contact center. And finally, you can identify issues in real time to prevent and reduce customer churn. Now, this reInvent, many of you might have heard, we launched new conversational analytics capabilities for the chat channel in addition to the previously supported voice channel. Now, with this change, we are able to support similar insights such as sentiment, detected issues, and matched categories across both the voice and the chat channel. We have tried to keep the experience as consistent across the two channels as possible. For chat analytics, we analyze the customer's conversation with the chatbot as well as the agent. This provides you an end-to-end visibility into a customer's conversation and their customer journey, right from when they start interacting with the chatbot all the way to the time they get routed to an agent and they converse with that agent. In addition, we've also introduced specific metrics that are very related or very specific to the chat channel. Two such examples are response time and greeting time. These metrics demonstrate the responsiveness of an agent to a customer, which is, as you can imagine, very crucial to a chat experience. Let's go through some of these top conversational analytics use cases for both voice as well as chat in a little bit more detail. Now, Contact Lens displays all the key conversation insights on a single contact detail page. Right? This page that you're seeing up here shows you a sentiment trend along with the distribution of other important metrics such as non-talk time as well as talk time. You can also see other characteristics such as interruptions, loudness, and response times all within that same page. And this is applicable not just for your voice channel, but also for your chat channel. As a part of our automated contact summarization capability that I alluded to a little earlier, Contact Lens uses machine learning to automatically identify key parts of the customer conversation. Once Contact Lens has completed this identification, it assigns a label for each component, and it tags it within that particular conversation. Now, you may ask, what are the three key components that we're talking about here? The three key components that we look at in terms of any contact summary is the issue, the outcome, and the action item. And these three components tell you the reason for the contact, the reason why the customer is contacting your contact center, the concern that got resolved and whether it got resolved, whether the outcome of that conversation was a resolution or was it a transfer or something else. And then finally, if there were any immediate next steps that needed to be addressed, right? Whether that was a follow-up email or a follow-up phone call that needed to be made as a consequence of that contact. Now, if you find that the summary that you're seeing up here is not enough and you want to get the access to the full transcript, within the UI, all it takes is the click of a button to expand that call summary into the entire transcript. So you can focus on the call summary, and if you want to dive deeper into the entire transcript, at the click of a button, you can go down to that full transcript view. One of the key benefits of this summarization capability is that it reduces the need for your agents to take notes during the conversation. So they can give their full attention to a customer while they're on that particular contact. It also reduces the need for your supervisors to read the full transcript. So if a supervisor is going through certain contacts to look at the contents of it, they have to spend less time going through the entire transcript. They can just focus on the summary and then see what exactly has happened on that conversation. Now, supervisors are often responsible for making sure that their agents are adhering to company policies. And they're also responsible for making sure that regulatory mandates are kept in place. This means that historically, they've had the task of painstakingly reviewing contacts to ensure agents are provided coaching when required. Now, with contact lens, you can use automated contact categorization to manage both policy as well as regulatory compliance. Let me give you an example here, right? You can specifically look for mentions of the phrase, "Thank you for being a Platinum Rewards member." This will allow you to ensure that all agents are complying with your contact scripts for greeting customers that are part of, let's say, your rewards program. Now, you can specifically identify contacts where the policy is being followed and contacts where the policy isn't being followed. Contact lens also helps manage regulatory compliance. Now, for example, if there is a regulatory disclosure that needs to be communicated to customers before every contact, you can track which contacts were in compliance and which contacts weren't in compliance with that regulatory disclosure. This capability has particularly proven helpful to our customers who are in highly regulated industries like financial services, where you are required to follow strict regulations. Now, with the automated contact categorization capability, which is different from the summarization capability that I just talked about, contact lens can also tag live contacts based on your specified criteria. So you can address scenarios like escalation requests, where a customer is trying to request a conversation with a manager. Or you can tag things like account cancellations as categories. Now, for example, for a category on escalation requests, you can specify keywords like talk to your manager or speak with your supervisor. And once you have created a category with these keywords and you've defined the rules for it, contact lens will look to match those phrases in real time. You can alert supervisors about potential customer churn scenarios through dashboard notifications, through emails, and through features like Amazon Connect tasks, so that they're immediately able to take action on situations where you could potentially have customer churn. Now, all of you are aware, contact centers hold very valuable information regarding your customer, whether it is personally identifiable information, or PII, the location information, financial details, and so on. With contact lens, you can redact this sensitive data, such as names, addresses, credit card details, social security numbers, using our machine learning models. Now, our machine learning models can identify this sensitive data intelligently, and they can do it using all the available context. For example, if there's a conversation and around a surrounding number, around a particular number, and the number of digits are available, based on that, contact lens can identify if the information is sensitive and whether it represents credit card details or is it social security numbers. Now, redaction removes sensitive information not just from the transcript, but it also removes that information from the call recording. So for transcripts, the sensitive data is masked with the word PII, whereas for something like call recordings, wherever you find an audio segment where the PII was mentioned, we take that segment of audio and we silence it. Now, based on your need, you can decide who gets access to the redacted information and who gets access to the unredacted information. And you can manage all of that within Connect permissions. You might find that there are certain teams that need access only to redacted information, but there might be some teams which need access to unredacted information to do some sort of root cause analysis. So you get that capability to manage both. Now, in order to find opportunities to train agents to get better or to reward good behavior, supervisors have historically done random sampling of calls. With contact lens, you can search based on words or key phrases present in transcripts. You can search based on categories that you've set up. You can search based on sentiment score. And you can also search based on non-talk time. For example, let's say you want to look for contacts where the category agent greeting or regulatory disclosure was hit. You can go to the search, you can specify the category, and contact lens will help you find all the calls where the disclosure category was met or the compliance category was met. You could also look specifically for contacts where the customer sentiment has shifted from negative at the beginning of the contact to positive at the end of the contact. Now, that would indicate that an agent has done a pretty good job, and you could potentially use that in a coaching scenario. On the other hand, if you were to look for contacts where the customer sentiment shifted from positive to negative, well, those are the contacts you probably want to spend the most time on, because those are the ones where you have a clear signal that the conversation went south at the end of the conversation. Now, you may ask, is there a way that I can customize some of this machine learning, right? Specifically, the transcription. You can improve the accuracy of product names, brand names, and domain-specific terminology within your transcripts by expanding and tailoring the vocabulary of contact lens's speech-to-text engine. All you have to do is you have to upload a text file containing the words that are most important to you, things like your brand names, your product names, anything very specific to your business, and then you can get started in using this custom vocabulary in minutes. You're allowed to have one vocabulary per language, and you can have up to 20 active custom vocabularies at any point in time. Now, as with all other contact lens capabilities that you've heard about so far, you don't need to be a machine learning expert to customize your transcription. All you need to know is what are the words that you want to include in your custom vocabulary, and you just specify it in a certain format that you can see on the screen, and that's pretty much it. You specify the words. If you want, you could optionally specify pronunciations of those words and things like that, and you're pretty much good to go. Now, I want to talk a little bit about how easy it is to set up contact lens, right? Now, to start using contact lens, you have to use the drag and drop editor within Amazon Connect, which is contact flows. Now, as you're probably aware, contact flows enables you to shape your customer journey end to end. Now, within this contact flow, you need to add a set recording and analytics behavior block. And then within that block, as long as you have turned on recording for both the agent as well as the customer, you can then select a checkbox that says enable contact lens, and that's it. You're pretty much good to go. All the contacts that pass through that contact flow block will then be analyzed by contact lens. You can then view the output on the contact detail page that I shown you earlier, and then you can use contact search to find those contacts that were analyzed by contact lens. If you wish to customize some of this experience outside of the Connect UI, contact lens output is also available in the format of a JSON output file. And this file sits within an Amazon S3 bucket of your choice. Contact lens also offers data streams and APIs that can be leveraged specifically for adding some of the real-time capabilities that we have within your own custom application. So you don't have to rely on the Connect UI alone if you already have existing investments in your own contact center application. Now, with that, I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Wenny, who's going to take you through the rest of the presentation.
Thank you, Kostap. And hi, everyone. My name is Winnie. I am a principal product manager with Amazon Connect. And today, I'm super excited to talk about the newly released agent performance evaluation capabilities that comes with contact lens. So, as Kostap mentioned, 3 years ago, we launched contact lens at reInvent 2019. Contact lens really enables the contact centers to analyze 100% of your customer agent conversations. And it allows supervisors to join a conversation in real time to help out the agent to solve for the customer issues before it's too late. And with that, we're now extending the contact lens capabilities and launching a new set of evaluation capabilities in contact lens for Amazon Connect so that now you have a way to translate that rich metadata and the input and insights from contact lens conversational analytics to a set of structured and modeled criteria that helps you to assess agent performance. And with that, of course, we're natively integrated with the ML-powered capabilities of contact lens so that the results of your evaluations can be pre-populated with no coding needed. It all comes out of the box. Now let's take a look at how this really works. To get started, the first step is to create an evaluation form. You can use the web UI within Amazon Connect to define a set of performance evaluation criteria that best aligns to your business. Essentially, they can be metrics or they can be questions. You can also model the answer of the questions in different ways. For example, you can tell us if you're collecting answers in the form of a single option, or if it's a numeric value between 0 to 99, or if it's going to be a free text answer. And we'll know that. Then you can also group each of the criteria or the questions under different sections or subsections. We'll take compliance as an example. You can create a section that's called compliance, and under that, you can have two different criteria. One is about, let's say, agent script adherence, which will be most likely a yes or no question. And another criterion could be, hey, did the agent collect PCI information in the right way? So with that, we talked about automation and how it all comes out of the box with contact lens. So you can use contact lens conversational capabilities to automate the evaluation process. In particular, you can use information such as keywords, phrases, or even contact metadata and customer sentiment scores to decide how to let contact lens automatically populate the results of one particular question in your evaluation form. Let's still take the compliance as an example. Now with contact lens, we have rules to create categories based on whether the agent was sticking to a script. And now in the evaluation form, this can be automated so that contact lens knows how to answer that question and makes a recommendation for you. Another pretty interesting example would be if you'd like to introduce, for example, non-talk time or hold time as one of the evaluation criteria. You can create this automation rule so that the agent could get a full 10 points if the contact has a non-talk time for less than 12% of the overall duration. Now, with all that, let's take a look at the actual supervisor experience for someone that's going to be reviewing a contact. So this is the contact details page of Amazon Connect. So here on the screen, you can see how contact lens actually produces an overview of how did the contact go. And you have a lot of the details that you may need to understand if the agent handled the customer conversation in the best manner. There's a customer sentiment overview, and here you have reference to a recording file. With contact lens analyzing this call, now we have a few category tags to give people a glance view of what was going on, and you can turn on the contact summarization. Side by side, there's a side panel that tells the supervisor, what are the evaluation criteria, and contact lens would automatically pre-populate results in the questions. Similar to the conversational analytics capability of contact lens, the evaluation forms would also generate rich metadata output files, and they'll be stored into the customer's S3 bucket. So you own your data. You can leverage that data together with the conversational analytics outputs and the contact trace records, or in other words, CTRs, and even data sets from other systems, such as a CRM, a CSAT survey tool, or maybe like a ticketing system, to create holistic views to help you understand what's really going on in my contact center, how's my team doing, and how is an individual agent performing over a past period of time. Now, in a minute, I'm going to show you a demo of how this actually works end to end. We have created a use case about a customer. Her name is Cheryl. Cheryl was trying to contact an agent because she wanted to book a hotel room for her family to spend the vacation, and she wanted to use her reward points. She found out that she doesn't have enough of a balance, and she reached out to the agent. The agent was communicating with Cheryl through chat and told her that she indeed didn't have the balance. Cheryl wasn't happy because she doesn't think that's the correct information. So at this point, the customer sentiment ran pretty low. And that's when we can automatically trigger a task, route it to the agent's supervisor, whose name was Esther, and Esther will receive a task to take actions. So now, what we have on the screen is the UI, or the experience, for a chat customer and an agent. Now, as we've mentioned, contact lens now support chat conversations. So we're fast-forwarding this, so we focus on the actual contact lens experience and Esther's journey. So now Esther logs on to her desktop. And we mentioned, based on the fact that the customer sentiment score was low, a task was automatically generated and routed to the supervisor of the agent. Esther opens up the task, and she sees, okay, there's a need to evaluate the agent performance because something was wrong. And within one click, she's brought to the actual URL of the contact details page, where she would have all the information that she would need to actually look at what's going on. Cool. Actually, now that we have some more time, I'd like to mention something about the tasks. So on top of getting a task to the supervisor, actually, we have a new release that is the out-of-the-box email notifications. So now it would be up to your choice. You can choose to give a task to the supervisor, or you can configure contact lens so that it automatically generates an email notification to the supervisor of the agent or to the relevant member of the QA team. Now we're on the page. So here we have an overall customer sentiment trend. It represents how the chat conversation was going. And this is the space where we have detailed hotspots of categories, and we help you navigate to the potential problematic area of the whole conversation. Now, as Esther explores what was going on, she sees there were a few category tags that contact lens detected. Before she tries to dive deeper and understand the entire conversation, she turns on the call summarization so that at a glance, she would know what's the issue and what was the outcome. Now Esther's trying to dive deeper, and she's reading the whole transcript to make sure that she gets the gist of what's going on. And we noticed how this contact center in particular has configured granular redaction. So Cheryl, the customer's name, was not redacted, but when she mentioned her date of birth, or potentially PCI or her address, those information can be redacted so Esther actually wouldn't see them. There are a few category tags that were showing up on this page, and you can click and navigate to all the relevant turns of conversation where the category was a match. Now, the supervisor asked her, she has a good overview of what was going on, and she decided to start the evaluation. She picked up the form, and with one click, you get everything started. And as the form loads, we see how actually the results of the evaluation was pre-populated based on contact lens conversational analytics. And the first question was, did the agent greet the customer? So we know that a lot of contact centers have greeting scripts that agents are supposed to follow. And here, behind the scenes, we configure the automation so that whenever we detected a script, we'll answer yes for this particular question. And the second question collects a numeric value. For this contact center, they decided, hey, we're just going to be taking the customer sentiment score to represent how did the conversation go. But now, as Esther has really investigated what's going on, she decided to override this question, and she has permissions to do so. Behind the scenes, this permission is also configurable, that certain folks in our team can have the access to override the information recommended by contact lens. Now, we see actually there's a third question. Was the customer satisfied? Typically, this information can come from two places. We can have a CSAT score, or we can use the supervisor or the QA team member's judgment to rate the agent performance in terms of how did they handle this contact. Here, we're collecting manual input for this question, and the input should be a numeric value. And now, as Esther submits the form, we see how scores are automatically calculated based on the points for each answer and the weights for each question. Now she reviews the results. She has a chance to actually further edit, but if we choose not to, we can go directly to submit the form. And in a moment, we'll actually see a dashboard that's created in QuickSight based on the information from contact lens conversational analytics and from the evaluation results. So here, we actually start with a team view that helps the managers and supervisors really understand how is my team doing, how is their performance trending, and what's the breakdown in terms of different aspects of the quality management or in terms of different members of the team. And you can take a different perspective. On top of understanding performance, you can see a more detailed view in terms of which questions or what perspective in the whole evaluation do we have the most room to improve. For example, we can see here the agents are overall pretty polite. And we've been doing good and improving our overall problem resolution. But still, we think amongst all the evaluation criteria, the problem resolution is actually where we have room to improve. Maybe it's about the process, maybe the system had a hiccup, but we probably need to take some action there and investigate and try to understand what's going on. So with that, let's take a look at what do the customers say. So the first customer we're going to be talking about is Traeger Grills. Traeger has been the outdoor cooking choice for food enthusiasts. Traeger has been using contact lens since the GA in 2020. They love that within just a few clicks, they have real-time insights on their contacts and empower their agents to provide better service for their customers. They also like that they don't have to spend time training their own ML model. Cognizant has a similar experience. Their clients love using contact lens for call analytics, including sentiment analysis and automated contact categorization. Now they're excited that they're now able to analyze the chat conversations and voice conversations in exactly the same way. Deloitte mentioned that the availability of contact lens actionable insights across both voice and chat channels is a game changer for them. They expect this will help their customers maintain the privacy and security they need. LPG is a law firm that provides legal services regarding debt relief, bankruptcy, or litigation. They've been a private beta customer of the evaluation capabilities of contact lens. LPG needed an easier way to evaluate agent performance and identify coaching opportunities across their contact center locations. Since adoption of the evaluation forms, the efficiency of LPG's QA agents was improved by over 20%. The evaluation forms provided them with a logical, easy-to-understand opportunity to improve their customer satisfaction. The last customer we're going to be talking about is Front Door. They are a tech-enabled, people-driven platform for home services. Front Door has been using the evaluation forms for a while now. They told us that they were able to reduce the number of forms that they have to maintain by 200%. And they've completed building the forms within Amazon Connect in 1/3 of the time that they had budgeted. To get started with the contact lens capabilities, you can just do it in a few clicks. Like all the other Amazon Connect features, contact lens has pay-as-you-go pricing. You only pay for what you use. There's no need to deal with long-term commitments, and there's no minimum monthly fees. To allow you to get started and test contact lens before you implement that in your production environment, we offer a free tier of 90 minutes for voice conversations and 500 messages for chat conversations on a monthly basis. This free tier is exactly the same as the voice and chat channels for Amazon Connect, so that you can try out contact lens when you test Amazon Connect. After you've crossed the free tier usage, you'll pay a per-minute pricing for the speech analytics for voice and a per-message pricing for chat. For speech analytics, the pricing is 1.5 cents per minute for your first 5 million minutes of usage monthly, and 1.25 cents per minute for usage over 5 million. For chat analytics, the pricing is 0.15 cents per message. Contact lens conversational analytics for chat is available in all the regions where the voice analytics is available. That includes all the AWS regions in North America, Europe, and Asia Pacific. We also support 21 different languages in all the regions, and we keep adding more and more every year. And speaking of getting started, our job is not just sending you off to the free tier and let you figure out the rest yourself. There is a lot we actually do to make sure that the process of migrating your contact center to Amazon Connect is smooth and successful, and you get everything you need. We have specialized professional service teams and support teams who are experts in contact center migrations. We also have programs and partners, too, to help you accelerate your migration through any phase. If you're looking to learn from us, whether it's about the technology or if it's about the best practices we've learned about with our experience operating a large-scale Amazon customer service, we have experts and training tools that are at the ready. And if you're interested to learn more about what AWS is doing in the contact center space and in the customer experience space, you can see more on our website. We encourage you to try to set up an Amazon Connect instance and get started to try our features. So these are our email addresses. Feel free to reach out to us for any questions you may have.